Learning doesn't require fancy supplies and resources. To learn, all you need is a stick and sand. God created us to learn as we grow and has innately given us the means to do that. For example, my youngest son needed to learn 8 plus 5 is 13. None of the tricks and things I was trying to do were really getting it, but he needed to learn this concept. So what he had was a body that liked to move, so I capitalized on that and let him jump his way across the kitchen. 8 plus 5 is 13. 8 plus 5 is 13. 8 plus 5 is 13. He got it, and I didn't have to use lots of fancy things to do it. I needed to have something for him to learn. He needed to learn 8 plus 5 is 13, but we used what we already had, kept it simple, and it was the most effective thing we had done. In fact, it changed how we did the rest of our math facts. Now, I'm not saying you don't need content or curriculum. I had to have something for him to learn. He needed to be able to learn a math fact. I need my students to learn history, chemistry, Bible verses. They have to have something to learn. But once we have our content, once we have a book, once we have a curriculum, once we have a plan, then you're good to go. Another beautiful aspect of learning this way is how inclusive it can be. When we say, keep it stick in the sand, we're saying that we want to offer resources that are as accessible as possible to all people in a variety of situations. You can use a whiteboard, a piece of paper, or a stick in the sand. Isaiah 28:10 says, "For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little at a time, over time." Repeating is what's going to make things stick. We need that in the Word. We need to spend time saying John 3:16, thinking about what that means, writing it in the dirt, writing it on our hearts. And when we do that a little at a time, it becomes internalized and it impacts who we are. That's what's going to happen when we become successful in math, in history, in science, in Latin, in whatever it is we're learning, a little at a time, line upon line, over time, is what is going to stick and carry with us and be what we need when we need it. We also believe that a stick and sand are effective tools for students at every age of learning. Whether you're just beginning to wrap your mind around a concept in the grammar stage, or if you're wrestling with an idea in the dialectic stage, or ready to explain a concept to someone else in the rhetoric stage, a stick in the sand can do the trick. 1 Corinthians 1:27 says, "But God hath chosen the foolish or simple things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty." This means that we don't have to use the most recent tech, we don't have to use the big stuff. The simple things are enough, and they're deep and they're wise. Deuteronomy 11:19 says, "And you shall teach them to your children, speaking of them when you sit in the house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up." The stick in the sand is just a way of life. It's doing the things we're already doing. It's sitting, it's walking, it's laying down and getting up. These are not new activities, but it's part of our life learning together. Leigh Bortins, the founder of Classical Conversations, says, "I always ask myself this question. If I only had a stick and sand, could I engage and effectively dialogue with my students about the concept I want to teach them?" Asking this question helps us rely more on modeling, dialogue, and relationship than on a false sense of accomplishment that a flashy presentation can leave. Relationship is what ignites learning, not the physical tools or resources. Being together, taking advantage of when you are and where you are, pick up what's handy and go for it. If you've ever wanted to homeschool in the way that your child naturally learns, then classical education is for you. And the best news is you're already doing it. Let us lead the way.